Hi everyone, it's Heather Abbott. Welcome back to my YouTube channel where I am teaching you how to make the most out of your finances, how to get ahead, and giving you any warnings that I think you need to hear. This video is going to have some education and some warnings, so stick around. So, when you hear people talking about borrowing to invest, debt is a good thing. You should have debt. You should definitely not pay off all your debts. You want to use the money, any debt you can get, to invest. They sound like they're doing so well. A lot of them are millionaires and they've used this strategy, borrow to invest. Yeah, I want to be a millionaire. I'm going to do that. Oh, that sounds easy. I wonder if I can get approved for a loan. Maybe I should mortgage my house. Wait right there. The people who are teaching this are likely millionaires. I have seen millionaires teaching this. And yes, that is the strategy they used. But they don't tell you the whole story. I'm going to give you both sides. So, borrowing to invest, we'll talk about the good points. We'll talk about the bad points. Actually, I think I'm going to reverse that. We're going to talk about the bad points first in case you click away, because everybody's going to teach you about the good points and not everyone is going to teach you this part. So why is it that they tell you, I am not a legal financial advisor. This is my legal disclaimer. This is for information purposes only. Okay, sounds reasonable. I say that. This is for information purposes only. This is not actual advice. Yes, I'm an accountant. I'm not your accountant. I'm not giving you personal advice. Well, everybody has to say that so they don't get sued. True. But I can tell you that they are definitely not a financial advisor, at least in Canada anyway, when they give you that advice, because there are rules that were brought in by the governing agency that protects consumers from financial advisors giving them bad advice. I was trained as a financial advisor. I don't do it now. But one of the things that I do know is a lot of people were told to borrow to invest in the past. A lot of them went bankrupt. Some people lost their houses. If you look it up online, you'll see a lot of stories about people who borrowed to invest and went under. And enough of them had difficulties with it that the rules were brought out to protect them from financial advisors giving them poor advice. So if you're a financial advisor and you don't follow the rules and you just tell somebody to go borrow to invest, you can lose your license and face a penalty, a fine. So it does tend to work to discourage bad advice. Who are they trying to protect? Well, all consumers, but who should not borrow to invest? I'll tell you two of them. Anybody who cannot afford to pay off the debt if the investment goes under should not borrow to invest. So you have to have a good enough income or have enough savings that you can pay off the debt that you created to invest without the investment. If it totally disappears, if you had invested in cruise lines last year and had to take your money out, last year being 2020 when COVID hit and cruise lines just stopped, that means you lost a ton of money if you had to take your money out then, and you have to be able to pay that debt off still. The debt doesn't go away just because the investment did. That's number one. Number two is you have to have a very high, a high investment knowledge. That means you have to understand the risks that you are getting into. You have to know how the investments work. How does the market work? You have to have that knowledge so that you can make an educated decision and you're not just relying on what the advisor tells you. Those are just two of the qualifications. So when you see someone telling you borrow to invest, you can be damn sure they're not a financial advisor, because they would be putting their license in jeopardy by telling you that. They might get away with it though with the legal disclosure, but if it was me, I wouldn't try it. So when is borrowing to invest a good thing? Well, if you know what you're doing and you have the money, there's other qualifications. And if you are given this advice and you want to find out more, you can talk to an actual financial advisor in your area or you can try and find out who the governing body for the legal advisors is in your country and go to them and ask them questions. But sometimes borrowing or having debt available to you, which to me is even better, is a good thing. When is it not a good thing is if you're bad with debt. If you are a person who gets a line of credit and you're going to use it because you're like, oh, I have like this many $1,000s available to me, don't borrow to invest. Don't get a credit line. Don't get a credit card. Stay away from it until you learn to control your spending. You have to be able to control your spending to have lines of credit, and especially credit cards. Credit cards should never be used as a loan. You cannot carry debt on a credit card and do well financially. They have way too high of an interest rate. So if you are good with debt, you don't just run it up just because. I would say that anytime you are given the opportunity for a line of credit, or if you're in a good financial position and can apply for one, that is a good thing to have, especially if it is a secured line of credit. Secured means that they have a claim against an asset of yours, usually a house. It would be like a mortgage, but you don't actually have to owe anything on it. And there are really good things about having one of these if you're good with debt. Especially in Canada, National Bank has one called All-in-One. Manulife has one called Manu-One. These ones go above and beyond the features that are available with a regular line of credit. I believe last I knew, Manulife was charging a monthly fee for theirs because it works like a bank account as well. But the All-in-One with National Bank didn't charge the monthly fee, but everything else was the same. So, but that may have changed. So if you are doing well financially and you're like, well, my house is paid off, I have no debts, why should I go and get a credit line on my house? That sounds risky. No, it's not. The credit line will sit there and not be used. Having a lien against your house will prevent other people performing fraud, which was happening a few years back. I had heard of people going out and getting mortgages on other people's houses. I don't know how they were pulling it off, but they were doing it. This would prevent that because there would already be a lien against your house. It would cost you legal fees to set it up, normal legal fees just like you would have for a mortgage, but it just sits there and you don't use it unless you need it. And the reason that you would do this, number one, maybe you qualify for borrowing to invest and it's a good idea for you. This gives you one of the best rates available. But the other reason is if something unexpected happens, if you get really sick and you have to access money, and let's just say it's 2020 and the investments are all down and you need money to get a surgery that is critical to your health or something that is very important that you do now. You don't want to take money out of investments when they're low because that locks in the loss. Right? As long as the money stays in there, your investment can come back up. It's just you don't look at it when it's down. Oh, look, it's back up. No problem. But if you take it out, you've taken it out at that lower rate. So you don't want to take money out of your investments when the stock market or whatever your investment is down. You want to do it when it's up. So buy low, sell high, right? So this gives you an opportunity to get the money from somewhere else. Why have it in place ahead of time is it's a contradiction with the banks at the times that you really need the money. You likely can't get approved to get it because the reason you need it is financially. You might be strapped for cash. Maybe your income went away. All these things are reasons that the banks won't approve you for a loan at that time. If you're pre-approved and you have a line of credit available to you, the bank has no say. It's yours. They gave it to you when your income was good. Everything was rolling along nicely. So it can get you through that time where you need it. So that is why it allows you, especially with a house, it allows you to access the equity in your house. Because if you have a $400,000 house that's paid off, you can't access the equity in it unless you have something like a line of credit on it. A mortgage means you definitely have the money out and you're paying interest on it. And if the interest you're paying on it is a higher rate than the interest you can earn on that money, that's not a good situation. You want to always have the interest you can earn be higher than the interest you pay. So I hope that's given you a bit of information around borrowing to invest and why it can be a good thing to have a line of credit available to you, which is one of the things they say, oh, have a mortgage, then invest it. I say, my opinion, get a line of credit if you're good with debt. And you can get these house line of credit actually with the all-in-one and the Manulife. You can actually lock it as a couple so that both people have to go in and say, yes, we want to unlock this much of it. One person can't just go in and raise it while the other one has no idea. There's a lot of good features to those ones. You can even divide them up into different sections. So if you want to use part of it for a business loan and part of it for personal loans, it actually tracks it separately. So it's really good for accounting purposes. So that was my information for today. I hope you got some value from that. And I hope if you were looking at one of these people telling you, go get debt so that you can invest, that you have gotten a bit of the other side of that and that you will make sure that you go into it fully informed. Thank you. Have a great day, and I will see you on the next video.